Rick Warren is on a PR blitz to win the hearts and minds of people on the left. I don't think necessarily to win the hearts and minds of gay Americans, but at least to reach out to gay Americans so that he can win the hearts and minds of people who support them, like us. And that's a clever strategy on his part. It's smart of him to do that. And you can tell from everything that Rick Warren does that he is a smart guy. You might not agree with his philosophy, and I certainly don't, but he's a clever fella. And so what has he done? He's done a number of things. One, he had some language on his website that was, to say that it's discriminatory is a little bit of an understatement. I'll read it to you. He said, because membership in a church is an outgrowth of accepting the lordship and leadership of Jesus in one's life, someone unwilling to repent of their homosexual lifestyle would not be accepted as a member at Saddleback. So you cannot be a member at his church if you're gay. Just can't do it. Okay? And it continued, well, don't get us wrong, that does not mean that you cannot attend the church. We hope that they do. God's word has the power to change our lives. Not we hope you do if you're listening to this message, but we hope that they do, because obviously they're not on this website. Well, now a lot of people are going to that website and checking out what's on there and not, and this has apparently become a bit of an embarrassment for Rick Warren, so he has removed that language from his website. So now, I suppose, if you're gay, he would be willing to consider you as a member on Saddleback. Are you not merciful? Are you not merciful? Now, the campaign number 2 is he's actually reaching out to gay folks. So he was here in West Hollywood in Los Angeles, California, and he went to an out-of-the-closet shop, took a picture with the owner of the place, this man who apparently appears to be Turkish, Erol Sarabi, and we got a picture of it right here. Look at him. He's giving him a big old bear hug, like, hey, how you doing, you crazy gay? All right, I'll let you be a member of Saddleback. You know, you want that, huh? And he went and bought like 10 books, 2 of which were his own, at this place. And he thanked him for providing free AIDS tests, which they do. Now, you don't see Pat Robertson or Jerry Falwell when he was alive, or James Dobson going to a gay shop and giving people a hug and buying books. So, look, the guy's reaching out. You got to give him that. Whether it's for PR or not, you got to give him the credit for reaching out. Turns out Rick Warren is speaking at a function where Melissa Etheridge is supposed to perform. She's going to perform with some Muslim artists, and they're raising money for peace and you know, all the lovely things in the world. And before she even has a chance to back out or not back out, when she realizes it, and she's thinking, maybe I should call him and talk to him and see what his thoughts are, boom, guess who's on the line? Rick Warren, calling Melissa Etheridge. And he says, look, I got nothing against you. I've got nothing against the love that you're talking about and promoting. It's just that, you know, I believe that marriage should be between one man and one woman, and that's why I barely decided to support Prop 8, but I got my real issues with Prop 8 as well, and look at all the work I'm doing with HIV/AIDS. And you know what? The charm offensive totally worked. And Melissa Etheridge wrote a big blog that everybody's now reading on Huffington Post. It's catching like wildfire. It's got a lot of people who've read it now. And she's saying, oh, let's give Rick Warren a chance. He gave me a call. He seems like a good guy. Now, you can look at this in 2 different ways. One way you can look at it is, the guy's making an effort, and yeah, he doesn't agree with us. But what can you do? You can't get everybody to agree with you, but at least he's reaching out. The other way you can look at it is, actions matter, and, you know what talk does. It walks with some BS. Let's put it that way. Anyway, it's just talk that he's doing, but his actions are still to support Prop 8, still to be against giving rights to gay individuals in America as to whether they can get married or not. I think those are both legitimate ways of looking at it. Based on the evidence that's in right now, my thought is this. Melissa Etheridge should talk to Rick Warren. Absolutely. I would never say to her, don't take the call or cancel the appearance. And she should do the appearance with Rick Warren. She should do as many appearances with Rick Warren as possible. But they should still protest at Rick Warren's church, because he's doing the wrong thing. So now you don't want to, you can disagree with him, and you can work against him without hating him. Now, I think that a lot of church leaders, even ones that, especially the ones that have their heart in the right place, would agree with that. That you could, hey, work towards a certain goal, but still love the people that are on the opposite side. So, so that way, the Melissa Etheridges of the world do introduce reasonable gay people to the Rick Warrens of the world, and maybe begin to change their minds in a slow, gradual way. But at the same time, make it clear that their positions are not acceptable, and that we will fight tooth and nail against those positions. Now, Rick Warren has been pulled a little bit to the left by the very fact that Obama has brought him in to at least do this invocation. I mean, look at what we told you earlier in the last segment. Rick Warren took out the piece on his website that said gays are not allowed in Saddleback Church as members. Now, apparently, they are allowed as members. So, there it is. They've come a little to the left. So there's value in reaching out to these people, and I like an America that, you know, where we have these conversations and we do it in a civil way. Doesn't mean we don't fight hard, but at least we begin to learn from one another and see. Now, final thing on this, I've probably gone on too long about it, but the final thing on it is, I think there's even value in hearing Rick Warren's position, to sitting in the same room. Now, I don't think Rick Warren's going to convince me, right? But I'd rather live in a country where Rick Warren and I, or whoever it is, Melissa Etheridge or Barack Obama, progressives, sit in the same room and have a real conversation about where they stand and the things that they might agree on. That's what Obama was shooting for. I think to some degree he has, not he has achieved it, because that would be too final a statement, but he's begun to achieve it. So, in the end, as much as I dislike Rick Warren's position on gay marriage, I think that Obama might have done the right thing by inviting him to do the invocation.